The wind never stops here. It is a constant presence, a sculptor of stone and a thief of warmth. Lyra of the Skyclaw clan lies flat on the sun-baked rock, the grit of the mesa pressing into her skin. Her dark eyes, narrowed against the endless blue, trace the edge of the abyss. The drop is absolute, a sheer plunge into shadow and echoing sound that her mind refuses to measure. Across the chasm, a world away, a small herd of horned-faced herbivores moves through a patch of stubborn green. The sight is a form of torture, a promise that the world has not forgotten how to live, even if this small patch of it has. The clan, a scattered family of Homo erectus, is a study in patience and erosion. The hollows beneath their eyes are as deep as the wind-carved grooves in the sandstone. Their ribs are ridges on a parched riverbed. This mesa, their fortress against the great walking predators of the lowlands, has become a cage. The water trickles from a deep crack in the rock, slower each day. And the lizards have grown too wise. The last of the tough, stringy ferns have been chewed to their roots. Survival here is a slow, grinding retreat from life. From the depths, a new sound rises. It is not the low moan of the wind, but a series of sharp, chattering screeches that bounce from the canyon walls. A flock of Dimorphodon erupts from the unseen cliffs below, their leathery wings beating the air with a sound like dry skins being slapped together. But their heads are unsettlingly lyso, packed with needle-like teeth in jaws that seem too big for their bodies. They ride the updrafts with a twitchy, nervous energy, soaring past our wires edged with black, reptilian eyes that seem to see everything. They are the true masters of this vertical world. The children huddle back from the edge, their ingrained fear a far older inheritance than the osteodontocratic tools their parents carry. But Kale, the elder whose skin is a map of scars and seasons, does not flinch. He sits with his back to a weathered stone, his gaze fixed on the pterosaur flock. He is not watching the prey across the chasm. He is not watching the sky for rain. He watches the winged hunters, his focus absolute. He observes the way they catch the currents, the way they dive and rise as one, the effortless way they traverse the great nothingness that holds his people prisoner. In his eyes, the terrifying calculation begins to form, an idea so contrary to the laws of earth and bone that it borders on madness. The hunters return with nothing but the dust of the mesa on their feet. The silence that greets them is heavier than any stone. One of the younger children, listless in its mother's arms, does not even look up. It is this silence that finally breaks Kale. He rises, each movement a careful negotiation with his aged joints, and walks to the clan's meager cache. It is a small hollow in the rock, covered by a flat stone. Inside lies the last of their food, two strips of sun-dried raptor meat, tough and dark. He takes one. A low growl rumbles in the chest of a hunter named John, a man built of sinew and suspicion. He calls the elder mad, accusing him of feeding their death to the sky demons. Hill ignores him. He walks to the edge of the abyss, the wind whipping his long, grey hair across his face. He holds the meat aloft, not for the chattering things in the void below. He speaks in a dry rasp, proposing a trade, to give them their now for their tomorrow. The clan stares, his hand gripping a sharpened femur, again questioning the elder's sanity. Kel turns his head slowly, his eyes holding the flat, hard light of a survivor. He tells John that death is already here, that it is in the child's eyes and in John's own empty hands. He points a bony finger down, not into the deepest part of the chasm, but to a series of ledges 50-man heights below, hidden from the direct sun. He tells them he is watched, that the nests are there. The one with the scarred wing is the leader and brings food to the highest nest first. This is his foresight, the product of countless hours of silent observation while the others sharpened their useless osteodontocratic tools or slept to save their strength. He is offering a plan born not of hope but of cold, desperate calculus. The choice is a brutal one: starve with certainty on their rock, or hand their last meal to a monster on the fragile chance of a future. The child lets out a weak cry. The decision is made. Lyra, her hands surprisingly steady, finds the longest vine they have. They tie the precious meat to it, the knot a prayer in fiber. She and Kale carry it to the edge. The clan watches, a collection of ghosts holding their breath. They lower the offering, the wind catching it, making it dance over the terrifying emptiness. A sharp screech echoes from below. The scarred pterosaur launches from its perch, a blur of brown wings and gaping teeth. It circles the dangling meat once, its black eye fixing on the two humans above. This is the moment of primal fear, the test of KLS theory. The creature could ignore the meat and attack them, frail and exposed on the ledge. Instead it dives. With a snap of its huge jaws, it rips the meat from the vine and descends, banking hard towards the highest nest. The pact is made. For 10 suns, they feed the beast. Each dawn, a portion of their dwindling reserve is lowered into the abyss. A tribute to this god, meat has become a ritual of this new, strange symbiosis. The creature now anticipates the offering, sometimes gliding up to the ledge. Its unsettling lie a large head cocked as it watches them with an intelligence that is both ancient and alien. The time for the true test has come. Lyra stands at the precipice, stripped of all but a loincloth to reduce weight. Her body is a taut wire of fear and resolve. She is smaller than the hunters, her weight a calculator in this insane gamble of human evolution. 2 of the strongest men, John among them, hold a thick, braided hide rope round her waist. It is a useless precaution against a fall into the chasm, but it is the only comfort they can offer. Cal brings the final, largest piece of meat. He shows it to the scarred pterosaur, now perched on a nearby outcrop, then fastens it to a harness on Lyra's back. The bargain is clear. To get the prize, the beast must carry the rider. Lyra takes a breath that feels like swallowing dust and steps off the ledge, her weight falling onto the rope. The men lower her, hand over agonizing hand, down the sheer cliff face. The world becomes a terrifying vertical plane of wind and stone. She braces her feet against the rock, her eyes fixed on the waiting pterosaur, its head twitching. The moment she is level with its perch, Kel gives a sharp cry from above. The signal. Lyra unhooks herself from the rope and, in a single, fluid motion born of desperation, leaps across the gap, landing on the creature's back. Chaos erupts. The Dimorphodon shrieks, a sound of fury and surprise. It was not expecting this. Its wings beat the air in a furious, panicked rhythm, trying to dislodge her. Lyra clings on, her fingers digging into the leathery membrane where wing meets shoulder, her body pressed flat. The beast launches into the void. The world dissolves into a nauseating blur of spinning sky and stone. The wind is a physical blow, tearing the air from her lungs. This is not flying, it is falling with purpose. The abyss rushes up to meet them, a maw of shadow. The pterosaur drops, then catches an updraft with a violent jerk that nearly tears her grip loose. Her clan is a collection of silent, tiny figures, their entire future clinging to her aching hands. With a final, convulsive beat of its wings, the creature reaches the far side, crashing onto the ledge, rather than landing. Lyra is thrown clear, tumbling across the sharp rock. She lies there, bleeding and bruised, the air returning to her lungs in ragged, painful sobs. She has made it. She is alive. Looking back, she sees the scarred pterosaur tearing the meat from her harness. Its reward claim. The pact is sealed not in trust, but in a mutual, violent transaction. She has crossed the abyss, but the price is clear. Her people are no longer prisoners of the mesa. They are now subjects of the fickle, screeching gods of the wind. The act is done. A bridge of flesh and wing has been forged across the impossible. This single, terrifying flight is more than a solution. It is a metamorphosis. For the first time in the long, slow story of hominid history, a mind-ball of the soil has dared to command the sky. This is the moment the chain of predation is not just challenged, but creatively inverted. Ancient humans, armed with little more than foresight and a terrifying willingness to risk everything, have looked upon a winged monster and seen not a predator but a tool. A key. This desperate pact, this chaotic symbiosis between mammal and reptile, becomes a foundational legend etched into their very being. It is the story of how they refused to accept the boundaries of their world, how they chose to leap into the void rather than wither in safety. Every future ambition of our species, every vessel that would one day leave the ground, Every audacious dream of reaching for the stars owes some small, unpayable debt to this moment. It is the echo of a young woman's scream, lost in the roar of the wind and the beat of leathery wings, a testament to the fact that the path of human evolution was never a slow climb, but a series of desperate, terrifying falls, taken on purpose. Our ascent was never guaranteed. It was paid for, breath by breath, in the currency of courage. But the creatures of the sky are not the only ancient powers that hunger from below.